a case study on the parenting experience of children with developmental disabilities. Presenter Nina. This study focuses to learn about the parenting experience of parents with developmental disabilities and understanding the meaning and the nature of the experience. We intend to understand universality and fundamental experience through the meaning of the experience that appeared in the temporal, realistic, and physiological structure of the family raising children with disabilities. Introduction. The necessity of research. In Korea, the total population is decreasing due to low birth rate, but the proportion of the registered disabled population is increasing, accounting for 4.9% of the total population as of the 28. In the case of people with developmental disabilities, the rate of the increase in the developmental disabilities included by the 1% compared to the pre-virus. The years as of the 20 and 8 and the rate of the increase the developmental disabilities is small, but the reality is that children with developmental disabilities do not so much difference from other children in the early stage, but as they grow up, they have externally limited relationships, communications, disorder, activities, or interest with other, and so far. The course of developmental disabilities has not been clearly identified. Parenting is disabilities. Children feel burdened by excessive mental, physical, and temporal investment in the disabled children and experience difficulties in increasing positive self-esteem due to lack of parenting information and coping method of the negative behavior. In addition, they are experiencing economic difficulty because they are unable to earn double income due to continuous treatment, and education. This study aims to examine the parenting anxiety, parenting stress, and the social isolation experienced by the family of the children with developmental disabilities. The program of study. The research programs of this study are the follows. First, what experience did parents with developmental disabilities have in the process of raising their children? Second, what about parenting experience by parents with developmental disabilities? Third, what is the sense of the social isolation experienced by parents with developmental disabilities? Theoretical background. Developmental disability. The category of the developmental disorder neurodevelopmental disorder defined in DSM-5, such as intellectual disorder, communication disorder, autism spectrum disorder, attention deficit, and hyperactivity disorder, special peak learning disorder, and motor disorder. It is defined as the tic disorder. The case of the occurrence of people with developmental disabilities at the meaning high risk factor before and about after birth, low weight, prematureness, dysphagias, etc. Post-birth infection of the neurological damage and environmental factor. Parenting anxiety of parents with developmental disabilities. Parenting stress for parents with developmental disabilities. Face social economic problems of the supporting treatment costs and their children age increases. In addition to the burden, frustration, confusion, and anxiety about prognosis. Mothers with developmental disabilities experience negative emotion such as negative sadness, anger, guilty, and shame from the movement they identify their developmental disabilities, feel more exhausted and worried about their children's future and feel the burden of the carrying of the death of life. C. Social isolation of the parent is children with developmental disabilities. Such on the sense of the social isolation of the children and the parent is disabilities seems to be activities in the recent years. In addition, studies on social isolation were often conducted only on specific individuals. Person with disabilities or families with the disabilities, but studies that measured and evaluation the sense of the social isolation experienced by parents of the disabilities. Children seem to the relatively insufficient. The cause of this can also be found in the lack of social consensus on the expansion of social support for mothers with developmental disabilities. Understanding phonometrical research. The phonometrical research method is the technical phonometrics that find the rest and the meaning of the experience while drawing and describing the subject experience itself as it is without produce and produce of the research. The phonometrical method has the characteristic of the explaining in the detail the uniqueness of the individual study participate in the statement of the situational structure and integrating the experience of all study participants into general introductory statement. Research method. In this chapter, how the phenomenological research method is applied with the presented and the reliability and the validity of the research method was evaluation based on the selection and the data selection method, data analysis method, and the producer and research participant research results. This study focus on the examining the parenting experience and the difficulties of the method with the developmental disabilities. The analysis method of the GOG was used to understanding and level its essence of or meaning more deeply. And the contents of the study participate question the first background, second child development area, third parents and the family rules, both children education and career programs, 50, and social support. People answering the actual question in the counseling begin with the story of the rehabilitation treatment and the update of children with developmental disabilities and the process according to the story follow of the study. Participate without answering questions in the virtual and comfortable atom pairs. Participate with the selection according to the participate selection criteria sent by the researcher, and the data were collected by continuing at least 2 to 3 in the consideration for each study participant. Eun-Hwa Joo data were available. The first, second, and third in-depth council season were conducted within 2 weeks as possible so that the participants could remember the previous counseling conducted, so that next counseling conduct could defend. The researcher is the graduate student majoring in the social welfare and counseling psychology, and found that mothers with developmental disabilities are interested in the mental burden and helping due to difficult in parenting due to their strong behavior characteristics, despite no programs with the daily. In the addition, it was revealed that this counseling was carried out with the research. Participants know that individual research and the overall purpose and the conduct of the study, the time and the place of the council, and expand the research result. Knowledge acquired through the research experience or research in the research of the process can act as a preconceived notion, which can hinder the correct understanding of research programs. This research method in the counseling has conducted counseling with disabled children and disabled families at the counseling seat for more than 5 years. Through counseling, the characteristic of the children is the disability and the difficulty of the parents could be vividly had in the field, so the researcher was able to obtain various information about the family with developmental disabilities. Study participant A. And his children with disabilities are working as a social worker at a nursing care center about 2 months after birth. My children had a fever and went to the hospital. A few days later, he was discharged from the hospital, but the child could not suck the milk, so he made a large hole in the milk bottle and manages to fill the milk. And 2 years later, he was diagnosed with intellectual disabilities. Children who are at the center of all programs participate in the study were coordinating what happened through their life, focusing on children with abilities in the absence of the mother. Outing she gave birth because there was no rights to labor her disabled the children, rather schedule of the non-disabled brother field hunting the no-disabled brothers and blaming themselves for unexpected behavior of the disabled children with disabilities. Conclusion: data selection is conducted from August 20 and 22, December 22, 20 and 20, with a question prepared by this researcher to fill out 2 to 3 in-depth counseling course of each study participate and the counseling time was around 120 minutes at the time. Information obtained by consulting the family of the children with developmental abilities is analysis. Prepare submitting the unit over the delivered grounded into 19 subcomponents and categorical into 5 components according to the temporal structure. So thank you.